What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Element 305. I'm your host, Trone.
It's your co-host, Gary.
And today we're here to talk about my favorite team, your favorite team, our favorite team, the Miami Heat. And we're back. We're back after about, I think, a week off. It's been kind of busy, not being able to record, but it is what it is. We back, though. We ready. And, I mean, we back at a good time, too, because these dudes are rolling. Last episode, we kind of got into the the timeline of the team, how the team started, how the team started like clicking and how the team was looking good and how Jimmy was finally starting to play like Jimmy, and it's looking like that. It's looking. I think we're like 11-3 in like our last 14 games or something like that. So we've been cooking, and the teams that we've lost to, even they've been like really good teams, like the Clippers, Boston, and who's the other team we lost to? Our most recent loss.
Was it the Knicks?
I don't. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It'll come back to me. But we're back. Everybody's clicking. The team is playing well. So what are we noticing from the team? Like, what have you been noticing specifically from the team that's been that you've been happy with, sad with?
Yeah. One thing you notice right away is, Jimmy's locked in now.
Facts.
It's about that time. It's that time of the year where
Facts.
you gotta lock in. Everybody's doing what they gotta do. With Tyler's absence, Duncan has been stepping up. We've already seen this from last playoff series against Denver.
Yep.
Boston and even the Knicks, he was hooping, and now his confidence is through the roof.
Yep.
Like that game against who did play? Detroit, right?
Detroit, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He hit somebody with a move in the left corner or something like that.
It was a Sawyer Thompson
behind the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. First of all,
nah, fact, and the Sawyer Thompson too. I think it's a Sawyer. I think that's the one that's in Detroit. But he's a good defender. Like, he's a defender. So for Duncan to be comfortable enough to hit that move on him, it just shows kind of the type of season that he's having, and it also shows kind of the role that this team is on right now. Starting from the beginning of the season, and then from January, I believe, where we had a really bad month, to kind of flipping the switch. And after that film session, I said it last episode, I say it again. I don't know what was said in that film session, but clearly it was something that lit a fire under everybody.
Yeah, man. The East, the whole Eastern standings is very close.
Yep.
The teams between 2 or 3 and 7, I believe, 3 and 8, their records are literally nearly identical.
Yep.
So anything can happen between now and the last how many, 15, 20 games?
Yeah, it's about, I think it's 20, 20, 21 games left, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen between then, now and then. But Miami's at 6th right now, I believe.
Yeah, we're in 6th place right now.
Right under the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, they gotta keep moving. I did like how last game, Bam, he was struggling at the beginning, and then he just picked it up crazy second half. A whole new player came out.
Facts.
He was hitting people with moves. I was like, oh, is that KG? Prime KG? I didn't get it on that, but
facts.
Nah, they hooping. Everybody's is doing their thing. Terry's hooping.
Yep.
He's providing literally not at the same extent to what he was doing in Charlotte, but he's passing. He's making the right passes.
Mm-hmm.
He's making off dribble shots. Creating for his own, which is what we needed for some time now. And he just provides a different dynamic when it comes to the pick and roll with Bam, because with Kyle Lowry, Kyle is smart, but he when he drove, you expect him to pass out.
It's predictable. It got predictable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Terry would, drive, get you a layup, make a tough shot, or hit you with a floater here and
Mm-hmm.
there, or a pull up, or if Bam is open, lob, or pass inside. But yeah, and
Facts.
Jimmy, like I said again, locked in. His 3-point percentage after All Star break has been insane.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like 15 straight games with a three.
yeah, like, and how could I forget Caleb Martin, bro? Like,
Cooking.
Caleb, he's turning to that Celtics killer back again.
Facts.
Like,
Cooking.
he's coming in. It's over. Even though he did get hurt last game,
Mm-hmm.
like a little minor ankle tweak. It's nothing serious, I don't think. Hopefully, but
yeah, facts. And I mean,
he's
and honestly, I think too. Like, I think we're like the team is being built out enough to where if Caleb did have to miss like a game or two, it shouldn't really, it shouldn't really hurt us as much. But yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. And to the Terry Rozier point, like you mentioned he's like not doing what he was doing, kind of in Charlotte, but like we don't need him to. Like we never needed him to do that. We didn't need him to be that guy. Excuse me. We didn't need him to be that guy because like we have, people that can score. Especially with Jimmy kind of like turning the corner how he is now, but we have people that can score the basket. But the fact that he's adding on to that, amazing. Like I love it. And you mentioned Caleb Martin. Yep, Caleb is turning back into that Celtics killer, like how he was. Like he's getting back into rhythm, getting back into form, hitting his threes, driving to the rim when necessary, and that opens up his 3-point shooting. Bam still anchoring the defense, keeping everything together on that end, and still scoring when he needs to. Like that. After Jovic got ejected the last game against Detroit, and towards the fourth quarter, Bam started cooking. Like Bam started hitting everything, hitting his mid ranges, and his floaters and everything. So the team is looking good. The team is gelling, and also speaking of Jovic, he's been inserted into the starting lineup lately, and it's just like. We know Spo is a really great coach, like one of the greatest coaches coaching today and one of the greatest coaches of all time. But sometimes he just does like things that doesn't really make sense to us. Like there's no reason that Jovic shouldn't have been starting from the very beginning. But he plays amazing next to Bam. He can handle the ball. He can shoot. He can drive to the rim. He can draw fouls. And he's not like terrible on defense. Like he can kind of like hold his own, but also he can rebound. He can, get offensive rebounds. He can get defensive rebounds. He's 6'10". I mean, like, what are we doing here? So it's great that Spo has been playing with him. Playing him next to Bam all this time because that's all we've been asking for. Just some more size next to Bam, so that when it comes to like rebounding and all that stuff and like just stopping people at the rim, that's not a concern. It seems like every team in the NBA plays with at least two bigs, or like their power forward is an actual power forward. But we were the only ones playing undersized for no reason either, because we had the personnel, but we were just playing undersized for no reason at all. It just didn't really make any sense.
Yep, and I think
no, okay, yeah, you good.
I was gonna say, like, I think like with Jovic, like I'm not gonna stretch it, but he has the ability of being a less athletic, like Lauri Markkanen in a way.
Yeah.
Like they kind of play similar. Like obviously Lauri Markkanen is more athletic, more efficient with shooting.
Yep.
Better defender. But with Jovic, like his length is there. Over time, I think he's gonna get better at defense. He's already decent, a decent shooter from the 3-point line.
Yep.
And he could dribble the ball. So, and he's aggressive too at times. Like when he gets that leeway to take it to the basket, he be trying to draw fouls. Once he gets smarter, like a couple more seasons, and I think that's his ceiling. Like I could see that like a less athletic, lower marketing. And
Facts.
if that happens, sheesh,
Facts.
that's tough.
Yeah, hopefully that happens while he's in a Heat uniform.
Yeah.
And so obviously Jimmy's playing well, so that's we kind of expected that, and we knew what he would turn into at this point in the season. But speaking, going to the other side of it, we still are going through injuries. We have Josh Richardson, who they just announced had surgery. I think he had a surgery today, if I'm not mistaken. Just had his surgery, so he's out for the rest of the season from that dislocated shoulder. So that sucks. I didn't think it would go that route. I thought it would just be like, shoulder injury, he'll heal up for a couple of weeks, few weeks, and then he'll be back, by playoffs at least. But he was balling too. Like, it's not like he was just dead weight. Like, he was balling too. So it sucks to see him go down like that. And then our other injury, like real injury that we're facing too, is Tyler Herro. Now, I don't think I saw the game where he got injured, but what is it, like a knee injury?
Yeah, I think it was like he kind of hyperextended it.
Okay.
I believe. So I mean, like he's been out for a while now for that injury. So I don't know if they're like trying to hide anything, or he's just trying to be safe and get like completely healthy before coming back.
Right, and they probably trying to get him ready for the playoffs. But speaking of that too, with Tyler being injured, like we kind of see this pattern happening in the playoffs last year. He's injured, we go on a run, we play well. Earlier this season, he's injured, he gets injured, he turns his ankle, we go on a run, we play well. Again, he's injured, and granted, he's been like most of these 11 games that we've won lately, like he's been in uniform, but he goes down again, nothing really changes. Like, and now we kind of have a replacement in Terry Rozier that if Tyler goes down, we still have that person that's still willing to take shots, still willing to shoot the three, still willing to to drive to the rim, drive to the basket, hit floaters and everything in Terry Rozier. But also with Tyler being hurt, and as we've seen every time, we got Duncan Robinson starting in his spot. And Duncan Robinson is cooking. Like he's doing, honestly, Duncan Robinson is doing everything right. Like I can't nitpick and see anything that he's doing wrong. Bro getting blocks and everything. Like I saw him block a shot against Detroit. So he's doing everything that's required of him when he fills in that spot with Tyler being hurt. So obviously, I know you've seen it. Like, you've seen the commentary around it. I've definitely seen the commentary around it. We probably talked about it before. But for the betterment of the team, like, what is an ideal starting lineup that you see that you think would be effective based off of what you see when Tyler plays and what you see when Duncan plays in his spot?
Ideal lineup. So obviously, like with Duncan, when he starts, I wouldn't say for some reason, but we just play better, right? Like the fit is just better.
Yep.
So it's either you start Tyler and Duncan with Jimmy, Jovic, and Bam, or you start Terry and Duncan. Like,
yeah,
at this point, it's gonna be about professionalism, like with Terry or Tyler, whoever gets into the bench.
Yep.
And we've seen like Tyler excels on the bench row, right? As a six man.
Like we saw it. He's a 6 man of the year.
Yeah, we've seen
like that's facts.
But I don't understand. Like me and one of my boys had a conversation like about this where we talked about how Tyler was basically like amazing off the bench as a 6 man, and he was getting started minutes. Like he's getting started minutes. It's not like he's off the bench getting like 20 minutes or something like that. He's out here playing 30 plus minutes off the bench. Like he's getting started minutes as a 6-man, and he's you know he hoops as a 6-man. So it's like I'm trying to see it from his point of view. Like I can understand, like, oh yeah, he has the skill to be a starter in the league, this and that. But when it comes to a team that's trying to win a championship, and the window is closing for Jimmy at this point, like you would try. In my head, if I was Tyler, I'm like, oh, if I gotta come off the bench, I'm cool with that because I know I'm getting most of the shots when I'm off the bench if I'm playing with the second crew, right?
Facts.
Like I wouldn't even be mad. I'm still getting shots, getting starting minutes. But it's about that the thinking of how if we're gonna lose Tyler mentally,
which is weird. Like that doesn't even. And my thing is like, Tyler has to see that. Well, Tyler and Eric Spoelstra, because we at this point, like, we don't know whose fault it is that Tyler isn't coming off the bench. Like it could be his fault, it could be Eric Spoelstra's fault. We're not sure yet. But between the two of them, both of them have to see that when he doesn't play, they have to see all the other pieces that step up. They have to see that when he doesn't play and Duncan plays, Duncan excels in that role. But then also when Jimmy or Bam are sitting down, you can tell there's a difference in offense of how like the offense works. So all of that can be directly ran through Tyler. And like it's not like we're just, like we're just making this up and everybody just wants to see Tyler go to the bench for no reason. Like there is statistics and like in hardware. Like he has a trophy that says 6-man of the year. He was averaging like 20, like 20 plus as the 6-man of the year. So what's the actual problem? Like as to why he can't slide back into that role? Like it's right there for him. And I don't even know who our 6-man is now. I think it's like Caleb Martin, if I'm not mistaken, him or Jaquez. One of those two, like they're our 6-man right now. That can easily be Tyler's spot. He comes in, he's still gonna play the same amount of minutes, and he's still gonna close out games. Like nothing's gonna change except for him starting the game. And I don't know if this is like an incentive in his contract or something, but I mean, he's clearly busted that incentive because he's been hurt like 3 or 4 times since he signed his contract and like for long periods of time. So him not like coming off the bench, I don't know. I kind of think that, as we get into the playoffs, it'll probably be something that they'll consider just a bit more. And I saw the tweet that you were talking about when it was like, oh, they might lose him mentally. Why? Like you've excelled. You've had your best career accolade playing in that position, like coming off the bench. So I'm not really sure what's the problem.
And it's like at this point, like, okay, we get it. Like you're putting up 20 plus. And I understand he's been putting in like work. Like he's done what the team has asked him to do. They told him to be more efficient. He's gotten more efficient. They told him to be a better rebounder. He's getting more rebounds. They told him to be a better playmaker. He's getting more assists. He's getting more people involved. He's taking smarter shots, even though like for some time he was bugging a little bit, like for a couple of games. But then he toned it down again. I understand that. And I feel like maybe it's that mentality because he did say himself he feels like he's on that level with Luka, Trey, stuff like that. So I could see why him going back to the bench like could knock that vision down, I guess. But like we're like I said, they're trying to win a championship. Like I feel like I'm next to Luka, next to Trey.
Bruh.
That's not gonna matter if we not winning. Like
Facts. And if
maybe
y'all
once we win, then you could come back and be like, but I won. Nah, let me take over
exactly.
type shit.
And if they win the championship with him coming off the bench, bro, like you still got a championship. You still averaged 20 plus. You still solidified. You were the greatest. Like, look at like imagine if Manu Ginobili had this mindset of like not wanting to come off the bench. And once again, you know, like disclaimer, we don't know if it's Tyler saying like, "Oh, don't take me off the bench." Like we don't know if that's the case. It could 100% be Eric Spoelstra or ownership. We don't know. But like look at people like Manu Ginobili who came off the bench and cooked. And we still talk about Manu Ginobili to this day because he contributed to winning. He contributed to championships. I don't even think he's ever won Sixth Man of the Year. Probably maybe once. But I don't understand how Tyler can't like look at something like that, especially with an organization like the Spurs, who are, you know, kind of close in an organizational style to the Miami Heat. If they're able to pull that off and you see what they've been able to accomplish like for these past 20 plus years, why is it so hard to be that guy knowing you can contribute? Because I can think of like just every single team in the East alone, they don't have a backup guard that's stopping Tyler Herro. Yeah. Like not one team. So, you know, it's just weird that, you know, that's like this is still a conversation after he won Sixth Man of the Year already. Like I'm so confused by that, you know. So I don't know. We'll see, you know, when he is coming back. Because aside from Duncan being, you know, slid into the starting lineup, we also have Jovic that's into the starting lineup. And I don't think he's going anywhere. Like, I don't think at this point now, I don't think Jovic is going anywhere out of that starting lineup.
Yeah, he just, you know, got to control that temper. Like, I understand, like last game, refs were kind of on him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I can understand the frustration, but when you're trying to get to the playoffs and the standings are so close to each other, that's like a rookie mistake. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Blowing off on the
for sure.
Like, I thought when I was watching the game, I saw he got one tech.
I didn't know where the other tech
where did the second cut? Yeah, I don't know where the second one came from.
I saw the second one. The second one, I think he like Isaiah Stewart like grabbed his jersey and he kind of like was, you know, knife handing the referee, and I think that's what got him the second one. But I don't remember seeing the first one. So
I think the first one was like, if I'm not mistaken, I think the first one was like he was complaining to the refs.
Got it.
Because when they replayed it, he did foul Stewart. Like, he pulled down on the jersey. That's a foul.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess he thought he didn't. You know how players be like they didn't. Yeah, like they saints and stuff. But like, and you know, they made the right call. He thought it was the wrong call, so I guess he got pissed, started complaining, got angry, and then.
And he has to understand. He has to understand too. This is what his second year in the league, and he just started playing like multiple games, meaningful minutes. So like, bruh, you gotta understand, like, they're not just about to give you these calls, or they're not just about to let you talk to them however you want to talk to them. If that was Jimmy, Jimmy probably doesn't get teched for that. Bam probably doesn't get teched for that. But you know, him, Jovic, he's going to get teched for that. Especially too with him coming off his suspension for leaving the bench and all of that craziness. So you know, so hopefully he does get that temper under control. I'm pretty sure somebody's talking to him, especially like because he doesn't want to lose his role in the starting lineup. Like, you just started getting these minutes. You got to keep that under control so you can keep these minutes and keep being beneficial to us as a team.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, you know, hopefully we'll see what happens with Tyler when he comes back. We'll, you know, kind of figure it out. Hopefully they make the right decision, or maybe just try it out. Like, when he's coming off an injury, when he comes back from injury, like they did with Rozier, to have him come off the bench see what happens, see how he cooks, and just give it a try. Just see what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I mentioned Ginobili a little earlier in the Spurs, and speaking of Ginobili and the Spurs, we got a former Spurs / former Heat killer, Patty Mills, just signed with the team out of nowhere. like I think Woj tweeted it, and it was very random. I'm just like, what? Like, I honestly, I didn't even know he got bought out. So I only saw the tweet that said he was planning on signing with the Heat. So for him, what do you anticipate? Because now we're kind of like guard heavy, because we have Rozier, we have Tyler, we have DeLon Wright. We had Drew Smith, and then they waived him after signing him to his contract this year. Mm-hmm. And now we got Patty Mills. So what are you expecting from Patty Mills?
From Pat, I think he's just kind of there just for like some vet presence. Mm-hmm. I don't see like the fit, because I'm thinking like, okay, so when once playoffs arrive, like the rotation is gonna be like maybe like an 8-man rotation, mm-hmm. 8-9-man rotation. So your typical 5 are if healthy, is Tyler, Duncan, Terry, Jimmy, Bam, mm-hmm. Jovic, Caleb.
Yep.
Who else?
Kevin Love,
yeah.
Jaquez is gonna.
And Jaquez, yeah, like that's mm-hmm. that's your 9. So now you got Patty and DeLon Wright, mm-hmm. which I'm assuming they're gonna use for certain matchup purposes.
Yeah, probably like defense, probably like against your like Jalen Brunson's, mm-hmm. Damian Lillard's, Tyrese Halliburton, stuff like that. Like guards that are pretty ball dominant. Trae Young's. I don't even know if Atlanta is in playoff contention, but Trae Young, is he out for the year? I thought he was hurt.
I think it's just out for a couple of months. Maybe.
Oh yeah, because he did get hurt, right?
Yeah, he did get hurt. I think he something with his hand, I believe.
Okay,
maybe he fractured it or something.
Right. So you have those those teams who the DeLon Wright is probably for, but yeah, the Patty Mills, I don't really get it. Like I don't really understand it. If you want to use him for 3-point shooting, maybe. He's a smart point guard. Like he didn't stay with the Spurs as long as he was with them for no reason. But yeah, it was just a weird pickup. Like I didn't really see it coming.
Yeah, and he's an actual point guard. So like, mm-hmm. Terry is by nature a 2 guard. Mm-hmm. Kind of a combo guard in a way, but like if you actually want a true point guard, and once the playoffs come, like it's gonna be a different atmosphere.
Yep.
Teams are gonna be game planning different, and having Patty with his IQ, his experience with the Spurs, mm-hmm. stuff like that, and I think that's gonna help a lot in the playoffs. And like you said, his shooting, former Heat killer,
facts,
and not Heat affiliate. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
If he does that, if he brings that same shooting to Miami, man, that's tough. Yeah. Man. That's a problem you can't complain about. Like that's a good problem to have. Yeah, that's a good problem to have. Like you're guard heavy. If somebody gets hurt, you got that backup.
Yeah.
So that's a good problem to have. It's just, I guess, like you said, just finding that fit, mm-hmm. And how they're gonna play certain people or certain guards that we have with one matchups. And yeah, like I said, good problem to have. So let's see what happens.
Facts. So coming up, I don't know when we'll expect to see him play. Probably like no time soon. But our next game, we do have Dallas. We got the Mavericks.
Dallas.
Our next game, Luka's been cooking all season, like averaging close to averaging like a triple-double. Like, I get the alerts. All I see is Luka triple-double again. Mm-hmm. But they haven't been winning. So I think they just got smacked last night to Indiana. I think they lost by like 20 or 30 or something like that. So we have them up next. They got a pretty good team out there. Relative to their record or that they've been losing lately. But we're gonna have to see Kyrie. We gotta guard him. We're gonna have to see Luka. We're gonna have to guard him. We're gonna have to see Derek Lively, their center. He's pretty good too. Like he plays his role. Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't even know if he still gets minutes, but he be bubbling on like heat killers sometimes. So we will see. We're looking forward to that game. Just kind of seeing what the team's gonna look like against legit dominant point guard, which Luka technically is. So maybe we see the DeLon Wright insertion against Luka because he is a bigger guard, so he can guard bigger guards. Or maybe we see Jimmy on him and probably see like Terry on Kyrie or something of that nature. So it's gonna be a good game. Definitely, I'm gonna be tuned in. I'm watching it. Should be a really good one. So you have any last words for our wonderful viewers?
Last words, not for the viewers, but like I did see like, Jimmy think he's slick. I don't know if you've seen, but he's with
Camila Cabello.
Cabello, yeah. He think he's slick, but he's going crazy. He's on a legendary run right now. With
every time,
girls.
It's always somebody.
Last year was who was it?
Shakira. Yep.
Yeah, and then the previous was I don't even know who.
Well, they said like in the bubble it was Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, Rachel Nichols. Yeah, like man, Jimmy going crazy, but it's that time of the year, man. It's time to have fun.
Long as he can stay healthy, I don't really see anything or anybody stopping him. But we'll see though. We'll see.
It's still fucked Josh Hart for last year.
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
he fucked that run up, man.
Messed up everything for us. But it's cool. It's cool though. We'll just do it again this year. Hopefully so. Season will be over in about a month as well. So we'll be rolling right into the playoffs. Hopefully we're not having to play in the playing game. That would be great. Again, so we just need to, keep pumping these wins out. We have a pretty light schedule for the most part. So we just got to win the games that we're supposed to win and win more that we're not supposed to win. So... But yeah, everybody want to thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for liking. Our last episode, that joint got a lot of views. So we appreciate that. And if you come across this video, make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, all the good YouTube stuff. And we will holler at you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.